This podcast is a member of the Place to Be Nation family. Visit us at placetobenation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world.
Place to Be Nation, hello. Welcome to another episode of You Don't Know Billy Jack. My name is Drew, and I'm joined, of course, by Jordan. Hello.
Hello.
How are you tonight?
Oh, I'm hanging in there by a thread.
Yeah, as we all are, huh?
Yeah, we're seeing a pretty ugly match tonight. Trump v. Biden.
Oh, are we? Well,
Yeah,
we're not. Yeah, that's what we're going to watch tonight.
Did you just queue up the debate? Is that?
Yeah, we're going to do live commentary over the debate.
Yeah.
Talk about a work, huh?
Yeah.
No, we're going to watch something more real than that. We're going to watch pro wrestling.
That's right.
Anything to say? Any thoughts before we get to it here?
No, I'm tentative on this screen you've got me paused on, so I'm curious to see where this is gonna go.
Okay, well, what are you paused on? What does it look like?
It's these like glittering stars are hovering over what looks I'm pretty sure is the Undertaker.
Great.
And then this bizarre man with long blonde hair, I think. And he looks tiny compared to the Undertaker, so interested.
So we'll see, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, so in case you don't know, the match we are going to be watching tonight is The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels from WrestleMania 25. Again, this is a match that some people say is the best match ever in professional wrestling. So we will see about that and see what you have to say about that. So if you have not listened to us before, this is a live watch podcast. What we do is, I am a longtime wrestling fan. Jordan is not at all. And is very much opposed to the idea of it. But he's a good sport, and we are going to do a live watch along of this match, considered to be by some the greatest ever, and we're just going to get Jordan's thoughts on it. So we are at it's WrestleMania 25, Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. We are at 1 hour 48 seconds and 1 hour 48 minutes and 7 seconds. You've heard of The Undertaker before, correct?
He is a known entity to me.
Yes.
But I just thought they drag him out once a year or something. They put him back in a coffin or whatever.
Kind of, yeah. At this point, no, he was a full-time wrestler.
Okay, so had been, whatever a season is or a year or whatever, he was involved.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
At this point, he was. And then Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid. Have you ever heard of him?
Yeah, I've heard the name. I don't really know anything about him.
You've probably heard Drake talk about him before. Drake will often lament about how he loved Shawn Michaels as a kid, but Shawn Michaels was essentially a male stripper at one point. So Drake would really, really feel shame about that. So
there's a heartbreak right there. So the name Drake is true.
Yep.
Curious to see this guy now. He delivers.
Yeah, he broke Drake's heart.
Yeah.
All right, well let's get to it here, shall we?
We shall.
So again, 1 hour 48 seconds. Come on.
You didn't do your diaphragm stuff.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm not speaking from the diaphragm. I'm just so tired. I'm just so tired in my life,
Well, let's escape. Let us escape now to a wonderful, magical world.
magical world where undertakers and male strippers do battle on the grandest stage of them all.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. 1 hour, 48 minutes, and 7 seconds. We will go 3, 2, 1, play. All right.
Got
Ready?
it.
3, 2, 1, play.
I'm in.
All right. And here we go. So we have look at him.
That's
Look at the Undertaker.
That's a goofy looking picture of the other guy too.
Yeah, he has a lazy eye.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't trying to clown on him for that. It was just weird.
No, I get it. No, I understand. Yeah, you don't like people with disabilities. I understand that.
Yeah,
Believe
make sure
me.
to broadcast that to everyone.
Yeah, believe me, I know all about that with you.
Right.
Now, can you hear? You can hear the audio here.
I can.
Okay. And so could you actually turn that up a little bit?
Yeah. How's that? That's as high as I can go?
No, that's good. Yeah.
Okay.
So we do want to be able to hear, hear the audio a little bit. So
Yeah.
are you kind of paying? This is a background video of.
Yeah, I'm
the
seeing the
feud.
intensity.
Yeah, you see those flames?
Yeah, it's a pretty. There's a little bit of budget value here. They actually got some money going.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. So I mean, by this time, so this is 2009.
Okay.
I mean, this is they're hot and heavy.
They're well set. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. They're the only. By this point, they're the only company. The only major company in the whole country.
Okay.
And have been for some time now. By this point, so.
God, I hate that. I hate that tongue thing he does.
Do you?
It's really disturbing. I guess. I mean, effect achieved. He wants to be disturbing, but.
Yes. It's just
I'm
hard
not
for you to
familiar
deal
with this guy.
Okay, so you never. That makes sense. I mean, that he's certainly not somebody that would have popped up on your radar just as a non-believer.
Like the name's there. I recognize the name, but.
Yeah. But you've never. Yeah, you've never
Like
seen
I couldn't
him.
have. Yeah, I couldn't have picked this guy out like of a lineup or anything.
Oh, okay. Okay, not even the heart pants or anything.
No. Whereas like when was Triple H?
I mean,
Like his heyday.
his heyday was early 2000, the late 90s, like 97, 98 through maybe 2005, you could say.
Okay.
I mean,
So
really.
somehow I can pick that guy out of a lineup. I don't know how, but
Yeah, so that is interesting. How?
yeah. So that was they were marketing to something that I don't know.
Yeah, he probably had a little bit more mainstream appeal, I guess. You maybe like he did stuff with like
Yeah.
Motorhead, for instance.
Yeah, I just know his face somehow, but
Yeah, that's interesting. So are you getting any of the?
dude, this is cool. Yeah,
the story
cool.
here. Yeah, I
Yeah.
knew you would like this.
Yeah, this is
Look at
cool.
him. Look at that.
Yeah, this is cool.
Yeah. So early thoughts here. Who are you going to be rooting for?
Oh, Michaels for sure.
Of course.
Absolutely.
He's right up your alley.
Oh yeah, I mean I think he's already my favorite wrestler.
Yeah.
Haven't seen a move yet.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Dude,
I can
the
tell.
coffin.
Yeah.
That's cool. I do like that.
Yeah.
I have to admit.
They love the coffin.
Yeah.
So this is, I'm trying to think. We watched the Macho Man versus Ricky Steamboat. Do you remember that? That was a WrestleMania match.
Yeah, that was cool.
And we watched Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Bret Hart. Do you remember that?
I do.
Yeah. So this will be the third WWF match that we would have watched. So
Okay.
you're able to see the progression of the company here a little bit.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
this is big time for sure.
Yeah, I mean, this is like there's nothing cheap about this.
Absolutely not. No, this is. I mean, I'm not kidding. This is
No,
like
no.
the production value is like pretty crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
they don't know what to do with it. Like when,
Of
like how the
course.
like the picture of him is all like it's all like touched up and like well done, but it's really goofy and like a bad picture.
Yes.
So it's like that's like them, you know?
Yeah.
Like they've got the money to make it happen, but there's no like taste.
There's no taste. Yeah.
But that's cool. I mean, yeah, this is awesome. He's coming
Yes.
down from a podium and there's
Yeah.
dry ice for days.
Yeah. Yeah, he's descending from heaven.
That is cool.
Yeah. He's wearing all white.
You knew I'd like this guy.
Yes, I did. That's honestly that's part of why like the build-up video and his entrance is part of why I wanted you to watch this.
Yeah, this is pretty gnarly, dude.
Yeah. Um and look at his jacket has the cross on it.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people there.
A lot of people. So this
Where's
is
this?
oh boy, WrestleMania 25. Where was that?
It's
I
not
want
in
to
a
say
stationary place every year.
no, it moves around to different
Uh-oh.
stadiums. Where was WrestleMania 25? Could it have been in Texas?
Dude, he's praying.
Or yes.
This guy's
Look
gnarly,
at that.
dude.
Yes, he is.
And the fireworks.
Yeah. So a little background on him. He is like notoriously one of like the worst attitudes in wrestling history.
Like, what's an attitude?
Meaning he has one of the worst attitudes in wrestling history.
Oh, got it. Okay.
He was just like a notorious troublemaker. Always cause problems like backstage. He would never want, if he was like the champion, he would never want to lose the title. And so
Dude,
he would
yeah.
always like have these injuries where like he would have to be like stripped of the title because he wouldn't want to lose a match. And just
Dude,
like
like a big
just
baby.
such a baby.
Yeah.
Such a baby. So the religion stuff, like he supposedly, legitimately changed his life and like became a Christian.
Are you serious?
Yes, yeah, dead serious.
Okay.
Yeah, like he I mean that's I mean I guess say what you will about the guy, like there's a noticeable difference in like his attitude and everything
Okay.
post. And I don't know when exactly that happened. It would have been, I think, the late 90s, early 2000s. I'm not the best with the history here, but
Yeah.
he went away. He retired temporarily for a few years in like 1998. He came back in the early 2000s, and by then he had become a Christian. Yeah, and I mean, some people
Dude, but is
think
that
he's
all like kayfabe or whatever they call it? Like,
well. I mean, it's
these
not
guys are
his.
just such hams. Like,
Of course, yeah. So honestly, I don't know. I mean, that's not presented as part of his character. Like, oh, he's
okay.
a Christian. I mean, it is. It is here.
Yeah,
But,
gratuitously so.
yeah, no, but in general, not. So I don't know. This could all be like him, just trying to get sympathy from people. But he's kept it up for 20 years.
Crazy.
Which again, not necessarily. It's not necessarily
Yeah.
out of the realm of possibility, but
Yeah, the long con.
yes, yeah. So it could be, but I mean, the thing is that he's much different in interviews. He's much different, like politically, meaning like him backstage.
Yeah.
After that happened, he was not like a pain to work with or anything.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, and like, there's a lot of like inside interviews with him and stuff, and he brings it up, but he's very honest and forthcoming about the person he was and the issues that he was having at the time, and that he's not that person anymore. So again, like you can't be sure. I mean, maybe it is just
that's part of the beauty.
That's part of it, right? But I mean, by all accounts, yes, he is a changed person. So yeah.
This is an epic intro.
This is epic.
This is the heaviest intro I can remember out of the ones we've seen.
Oh yeah, I mean this is the real deal. I mean, this is.
Man, there are a lot of people there.
Look at that.
Crazy.
This is why people like WWF.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we'll talk. Okay, so this is it's Houston, Texas.
Got it.
This is where that is. Yeah. So I mean, Houston, Texas, at some whatever Astrodome or something. A lot of people.
So many people. It's just like, yeah, impressive.
Yeah. But I mean, compare this, like, I don't know if you can remember some of those Japanese matches we watched. The real good Japanese matches. Yeah. Where, look, those have their own like epic feel to them, right?
Definitely.
But it's guys coming out of a locker room straight into the ring. And I mean, it's a packed house there, but it's 17,000 people. This is 75,000 people, and the entrances. I mean, how long have we been watching this? Already?
And I mean, you're taking your kid to this kind of thing. It's like a movie.
Yes. Like this is why people like WWF.
Yeah, they definitely like give you that sugar rush.
Yeah. I mean that Undertaker entrance, I mean that's the real deal. And like it's all timed perfectly.
Yeah.
Look.
Dude.
Shawn Michaels does have a bit of an undershave.
Yeah, I saw that. He is scary, the Undertaker guy. He is freaking frightening.
Yes. Yeah, he is. I mean, he's from Texas. He's a full-on like big, like gnarly Texan.
Yeah, I can feel that for sure.
Yeah, like he's got a neck tattoo and sleeves, and like he's a big guy.
Yeah, he is.
So here we are. We're underway now. I mean,
there's movement here.
Yeah, and you feel it. Like this is like a big deal.
Yeah, because we watched the only time I remember seeing the Undertaker is when you forced me to watch one of these more recent ones.
Yeah.
And they just kind of dragged his carcass out, and not much really happened.
Exactly.
And then they pin the guy down, and then he goes back to sleep or whatever happens.
Yeah. At this point, and I think
this has like a lot of activity already.
Yeah, and at this point in 2020, he has said he's retired. I don't know how long that'll last, but by the end of it, it was really you just wanted to see his entrance at WrestleMania.
Right.
But here, I mean, he's a full-time wrestler, and they're moving around, and I mean, you can see he's moving. Oh, dude. Look at that! Did you see him do the suck it thing?
I saw the suck it.
Not very Christian.
And then he instantly asked for like a, hey, lay off me for a second.
Yeah.
He landed wrong.
Yeah, he's faking it. Not very Christian.
Yeah.
Sad, huh?
Sad, huh?
Yeah.
So, like, where is this the main thing that people are watching at this WrestleMania, or is there more after this, like,
No.
wise?
No. So it's funny you mentioned Triple H and then asked
Dude.
that question. So, Triple H notoriously during this stretch, again, like maybe 2000. So I said his peak was like 2005. He was like a top guy until probably 2010,
Okay.
2011, 2010, let's say. So he would notoriously, like, he would always have to have the last match at WrestleMania, like
So
the
he was
main
kind of a
event.
baby too.
Yes, yeah. Um, not as like pouty, well, as Shawn Michaels, but also Triple H is. Do you know who he is backstage or anything?
I think you had told me one time that he is somehow related to the McMahon guy.
Yes, so he married Vince
He
McMahon's daughter.
married into the family.
Yes,
And
yeah. So
is that a legal marriage, or is this all part of the, like, theater?
no, it's a legal marriage. They did have that part of the theater as well, but it's a legal marriage. They have children and everything.
Okay.
I mean a sham, of course, but
Sure.
in the eyes of the law, they're legally
Yeah.
wed. Uh, so I mean, he kind of runs the company and has for several years. Even back at this point, he was pretty involved. So
Sure.
it wasn't as much him like being pouty and like not doing the right thing. It was more, this is kind of like my company and I'm gonna do what I want type of thing.
Yeah.
But so he has this match. He has the main event after this match,
Got it.
and it's a match that is like not good and no one wants to see and no one cares about.
They want this.
They want this. This is why everybody's here. I mean, you
Yeah.
can hear the crowd.
Yeah, they're into it for sure.
Yeah. Um, and so yeah, it's just that, but he has like a reputation for doing that. It's notorious. And it goes back years and years. There's so many examples of it where you get this like great match at WrestleMania, and then the Triple H match comes on. And another thing is he has to have the longest match too.
Oh, good.
It's very okay. So another little Triple H thing. Do you know that band Code Orange?
Yeah, John's band.
Yeah.
That's the only way I know him.
I mean, yeah, that's fine. So they performed on WWE at
Oh,
like
okay.
a live show, or maybe they did a recording for them or something. But at a certain point, Triple H went to one of their practices
Oh my gosh.
and was like just sitting there listening to him practice and was like headbanging and throwing up the
Oh
horns.
my gosh, dude.
Just think
That's
about that.
crazy. That's
Just-
crazy. That's a lot.
just-
That's a lot to take in.
It's a lot to take in.
I
It's
can't
a
think
lot.
of personally. I can't think of like a worse thing at a practice than Triple H showing up and like
Yeah,
just kind of watching and headbanging and giving you the horns.
yeah, like stoked.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
stoked.
Yeah, there's
Ugh.
nothing worse.
There's
So, like-
nothing worse.
No, it's like there's that. There's a few years ago they did a thing where he fought Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar supposedly broke his arm with a submission hold. Broke Triple H's arm, and so Triple H came out with like a cast on or some kind of big brace or something. And then between, that was on like Monday Night Raw. Between Monday and Monday on that weekend, I think he was at a big, he was walking out at a big like MMA fight or a big boxing match or something. He was walking out with one of the fighters, and he didn't have the thing on,
Dude, yes.
which is like, come on,
Yeah, that's great. That's cool. The showboat.
yes. So it's very good. So have you been kind of paying attention to what's going on here?
Yeah, they've been hitting pretty hard and heavy. There's not really a lot of fooling around, really.
Right. Yeah.
They've only been on the ground for like a couple minutes, for instance.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, a lot of big moves and big gestures, right?
Yes, exactly.
Um,
Question.
yes.
So, do a lot of people, do they ever have inappropriate signage and like someone has to go get the sign in the crowd?
Certainly in the past, they certainly did. It
I
doesn't
have to
happen.
imagine there's been some pretty gnarly signs.
Oh, goodness, yeah. I mean, there's whole like Instagram accounts dedicated to like wrestling signs.
Yeah.
In the earlier, have you heard the term the Attitude Era? Have you
Yes,
heard
I've heard
that
of that.
phrase before? So that's
Yeah.
when it was like for bad boys.
Yes.
Um, there would be tons of signs in the crowd, and it was a lot of just real crude stuff.
Yeah, I'll
Um,
bet.
yeah. Now they'll definitely scan the crowd, and if there's anything like they're not going to have like an F word or like
Right.
bad language or like racist stuff or anything. They're not going to have that.
Yeah, I imagine
They'll
it's
go and they'll
pretty dialed.
confiscate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like because the aesthetic is so dialed in now.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's one thing. Like Vince McMahon, I mean, he is who he is, and whatever. And say what you will about WWE, like as whatever they present as professional wrestling. One thing that's undeniable is like the aesthetic is so there's so much time and energy put into the aesthetic, and he knows exactly what he wants,
Right.
which is like I have like endless respect for that, even if the aesthetic is like truly the worst thing in every
right.
in every regard,
Yeah, he's sticking by it.
Yeah, that's it. It's like it's he has it's the lowest common denominator reflection of popular culture, and and he's done that for like 35 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like it's so impressive that he has stuck to that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Like there's
Great.
that's your I don't know. It's really something.
Yeah.
So anyways, thoughts on this match so far?
Yeah, it's moving at a good clip. I heard
Yeah.
the term crossface crippler. I like that.
Yeah, you know whose move that was.
The guy who was sad.
Yes, the guy who was sad. That was
Right?
his move. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
is that anyone else's like signature move?
Well, no, and I'm actually really surprised that they let him do that. Because I figured they would have not at least not called it that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, pretty impressive. So you're getting. I mean,
They're
just
getting
think
wild
about.
on the mat.
Yes. Think about how. Do you remember that match? It was Nick Bockwinkel versus Kurt Hennig. It
I
was the
remember that.
hour-long. Yeah, you really liked that one. Hour-long draw. It was bloody and all that.
Yeah.
Just think about the difference between that match and this match.
Yeah, I'll have to dig a little bit into my brain.
Yeah, sure. But it just
Yeah.
that one was like they were on the ground.
It felt more like solemn, right, and more like like a lot of holds and that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is pretty like
Again,
bombastic.
just yeah.
And now they're out of the ring, and whenever they're out of the ring, the ref gets like upset, right? They're supposed to be in the ring, right?
Supposed to be in the ring. They're supposed to only have a 10 count.
Oh, okay.
The ref
Right.
will count to 10. But they're like if one person gets back in the ring, they stop the count. So it's, I mean, and of course the whole thing is dubious anyways. They'll just wait.
It's all arbitrary, really, but
yeah. But
yeah.
Say that again.
I do always I find the out of ring time fascinating.
Yeah? Why is that?
Because I don't know, it's like they're not supposed to be out there, but we all like want them to be and expect them to be.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a weird like it's like an unnegotiated space, like you get the feeling that like anything could happen.
Yeah. I mean that's
it's the same, as any other part of the match, but like the feeling changes.
Yeah, I mean that's the entire point of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the exact purpose. Oh,
Dude,
look at that.
Sketchy. That looked really haphazard. So I don't know what that was, but
so he was trying to do Shawn Michaels, Undertaker on the outside. Shawn Michaels got up on the turnbuckle, did a backflip off the turnbuckle, and missed the Undertaker. So essentially, it just did a backflip from the top of the turnbuckle to the ground.
Yeah, and the ground does not look soft.
No, I mean there's padding there. It's like
it looks like
a
it's
wrestling,
lightly padded. Yeah.
Yeah, a wrestling mat. So.
But like it's not giving at all, like when they were walking on it.
No.
So it can't be that padded.
I mean, what are those wrestling mats? They're a couple inches thick.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Like if you jump from that high, that's not gonna make much of a difference.
No, it's not. Yeah. Now, did you see the Undertaker sit up and the people cheer?
Yes.
That's kind of a signature thing of his.
Okay.
Where you think he's dead, and he sits right back up.
He rises again, as it were.
He rises again. Yeah.
Whoa! He went. Whoa! Yikes, dude! He just took that camera. That's a cameraman, right?
Yes.
Okay, that was crazy, and I don't know what to believe, because that didn't look that was planned.
Yeah, now that was, we'll see that again. Tell me. And you saw that he essentially just kind of landed on the top of his head too. Did you catch that part?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was insane.
He's a big guy.
His head is huge.
His head is huge. He's got a big head.
It's like as big as my trunk.
Yeah. He's got a big head. Well, let's watch this now.
Right there.
Yeah.
Dude. That was crazy. That was cool.
Yeah. Look at that angle where you don't see him hit, you just see the ring and he just goes down.
I mean, I don't care if that was staged. That was cool.
Yeah. So the cameraman is that's a fake cameraman.
Yeah, I'm gathering that upon seeing the replay, it feels more like it.
Yeah.
But the move was really good.
Well, say that again.
The move was really good.
Yeah, it
on
was.
Everybody's part.
Yes, except for the cameraman, because he was out of position. He was supposed to catch the Undertaker. Like, he was supposed to be closer to him.
Sure, yeah.
So he didn't just go straight down onto the top of his head. But he did.
Horrible.
And and so kind of what's happening right now.
Oh.
Yeah, so you could see that guy was too far back.
Yeah.
And so that cameraman, I think they really got him in a lot of trouble. Because he was just like some hired guy, and I want to say he's like someone's relative or something.
But not a professional wrestler.
Right, or maybe like an independent wrestler or something.
Yeah.
Something, but I don't know the full backstory on it. But so now did you see kind of Shawn Michaels, him pleading with the referee like that?
Yeah.
Did you catch any of that?
A little bit. I saw him like slapping the ref around and like pleading with him.
Yes, so you see he's very upset now. What's the count out? I can't hear.
7.
Okay, let's see.
He's at 8.
Oh boy. Made it in.
Oh, he did it.
Yep.
His head is red and bulbous.
Yeah. And that's how it was before the match. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not talking about right now.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm gonna ask you another question about the signs.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of fascinated by this. It seems like they all know when that camera angle appears. Because a lot of times the camera will come and then a couple of seconds will pass and then everyone will hold up their signs.
Yeah,
I mean, is that just, or are they just doing that the entire time and it just looks like that?
Yeah, they're doing that the entire time because that's just a hard camera. There's no one really manning that or anything.
That's what I thought. It just felt like, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way to know when it.
I guess I'm just kind of fascinated by the signage. That's all.
Yeah, well, that's fine. Yeah. So are you getting the sense now? Did you see what happened just then? Big choke slam.
Yes. Yeah.
That's like one of his signature moves.
Yeah, the crowd has like turned it up a notch.
Yeah, so that's like a big kick out. Yeah, that's a big moment that he didn't kick out of that.
Yeah.
The kind of are you seeing like kind of the dramatic play that's happening here now?
Yeah,
so that's Shawn Michaels, like his special move.
They're playing to each other's like special moves.
Yeah. Yes. So let's see here. Here we go. Oh, look at that. Did you think that was the end of the match?
I didn't think so, but I wasn't sure. They're keeping me guessing.
Okay.
The super kick.
The super kick, yeah. Sweet chin music, he calls it.
Sweet chin music. Sloppy looking guy in the black cowboy hat at the announcer.
So that's Jim Ross.
Okay. Was he a famous wrestler?
No, just a famous announcer. A lot of people think he's like the best announcer ever. I think he's pretty rotten.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's been around forever and ever. Uh-oh, here we go.
That long arm just shot up onto the guy's neck.
Yeah. Uh-oh. So here we go.
Oh.
So we got him here. We got him.
Yeah, the production value is the highest of what we've seen so far.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The camera knows exactly where to go, and it's doing these like when he hit the mat, when he threw Michaels down on the mat, when he hit, there was this tight zoom that did the little in and out zoom, like choo 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 choo. Yeah. It's like it knew exactly what to do, right at that moment, and Everything seems a lot tighter.
Very tight. Now, did you like that? Like the zoom and kind of so it makes you feel like you're feeling the impact of
Yeah,
it?
like I could see the appeal to that. Yeah, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
noticing it, so I must be drawn to it in some way. It doesn't bother me for sure.
Yeah. So,
Um,
so that
yeah.
they still do that now.
Uh-huh.
It's really egregious now.
I'll bet, dude. I will bet it's so over the top.
Yeah, it's super ignorant. Um,
Yeah.
like this era, this probably the up until like probably 2011, the production is like awesome.
Yeah.
They're at like a really interesting intersection
Yeah.
where they're doing some of that stuff. They'll do the zoom in, but it's not like that. There's still a little bit of taste. Now
Right.
it's just, and it's been like this for several years. You'll like the amount of camera cuts per 30 seconds.
Oh my
That would be
gosh.
like 55 camera cuts or
I
something.
bet, dude. I bet.
Yeah, but again, and people say like, oh, like I can't believe they do that. Oh, it's so terrible. But it's like that. It's the reflection of the culture, you know.
Yeah.
Like they're responding in like a low quality, stupid way to what's going on in pop
Yeah.
culture. You
Yeah,
know.
totally.
Here we go. A tombstone, Jordan. Tombstone. That's it.
Ooh.
That's his move. The tombstone pile
Dude, he's
driver.
crossing him.
R.I.P.
No, that
Look at
tongue. When he breaks the tongue out,
You love it.
I can't stand it, and
You
I don't
love
know.
it.
He's a disturbing figure. He wins. He gets across what he wants.
Yeah. So there was a phase in his career where he was a biker. Like he cut his hair and he was a biker.
Oh my gosh.
And he would come out. He was known as the American Badass.
Oh my gosh.
And he would come out to the Kid Rock song.
No.
Yes.
That's funny. I was just thinking about that song, American Warrior.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Dude, and I was thinking about how I just a missed opportunity not really covering that song.
Yeah. Dang, you're right.
Yeah.
Shame
We
on
used
us.
to go to the movies just to see that preview.
Yeah, we'd leave after. Go to the $3.
Yeah, go see him turn up that Marshall stack. Okay.
Plays Flying V.
Okay, so I've seen him do that like cut my throat motion before. So I'm assuming this is gonna wrap up right now.
It's the end. That he's marking the end. It's the end of the line for old Shawn Michaels. And so did you get, I don't know if you were able to get this in the video, but he's on a streak, an undefeated streak at WrestleMania.
Yes, yeah, I'm feeling that, yeah.
Yeah. So that is something that is like legitimately, so he's not, he eventually lost a match. That streak was legitimately awesome. Like
everyone loves it, right?
Everyone loves it. It's like it was pretty impossible to not be invested in that.
Yeah.
Like even if it doesn't matter what else is going on WrestleMania, it's maybe it's the dumbest thing in the world, whatever. The Undertaker's match, seeing him win and seeing if he's going to keep the streak alive, that is like awesome. It's legitimately great, and it really makes you like believe.
Yeah,
you have to go all in on it.
Yeah, streaks are compelling.
Yeah, no matter what, huh?
No matter what. I think people are fascinated by them. It speaks to what everyone is kind of interested in, no matter what it is.
Do you think that's a uniquely American phenomenon?
I mean, I couldn't say, but I'd be surprised because it's like it's kind of like it's about endurance, you know,
Yeah,
like wow, that guy played that many baseball games, or like he hit this many homers in a row, or whatever, you know.
yeah,
It's like interesting, and people want to see how far like a person can do something.
yeah. Well, do you think it's it's primarily sports related then? Meaning
Hmm.
like there's something inherent in I used American culture, but I mean like there's I mean, British culture with, or the rest of the world with football or soccer, whatever it's called.
Right.
Like, I mean, sports are big everywhere. Sporting
I think that's
events,
the
like,
easiest like metric to measure it by because it's sports. You know that's like there's these things that you can measure.
yeah,
So it's kind of hard to like measure streaks and other, things.
yeah,
But I think it probably, I mean, competition probably has a lot to do with it,
yeah.
because that's.
Like, like
But
it's
I
a,
I
it's a,
think it seems human to me. It seems like I think anyone could appreciate a streak.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, like I have zero investment in this, and you tell me, oh, the guy's never lost, and I'm like, okay, let's see, like
yeah,
um, I think anyone would, you know.
yeah. I think so too. I just wonder why that is. Like, if
Yeah,
it's something that's kind of inherent because like we grow up in like sports is such a big part of American life.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I don't know. So have you been hearing the crowd on
yeah. I can't tell what
the
they're
pin?
saying.
But it's just like the
Yeah,
pin when
it's
someone goes
ruckus.
for a pin or something. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They're like at that point in some of these matches we've seen where they've like gone the distance.
Yes. Yeah, you can tell. They're really selling
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
exhaustion and all that.
Yeah, and
And
everyone's
that
cheering upon each blow.
yeah, and that is something. I mean, so obviously this is very exaggerated. I mean, they're in front of 72,000 people, whatever it is. So they're playing to the back row. But
Yeah.
I do think that's something that's cool about wrestling is that there is an endurance element to it
Mhm.
that I mean that they've been wrestling for a long time. That's real. Like you're gonna be tired.
Definitely. Yeah, I
And
mean, just playing around with your friends for a few minutes, it wears you out.
yeah,
I
so
mean,
it's
the physical activity is like it's pretty impressive. I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, yeah. And there you see everybody stand up when they think there's gonna be a tombstone pile
Yeah.
driver.
Yeah, right.
I saw a client at work who used to be he's dead now, of course, but used to be a radio personality,
Oh, uh-huh.
and he would always correct anybody. Like when I was there, he would correct me and his caregivers. And he did the Toastmasters too. The Toastmasters.
Oh, yeah, you told me about this guy.
Did I? So
Yeah, yeah.
he would
The
correct
language
if
and
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I always think about that.
Yeah, pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think that's
Dude, he just
great.
backflipped into the tombstone.
Into the tombstone.
That's a tombstone, right?
Yes, that's it.
Dude. And he's
That's
doing
it.
it. He
That's it.
backflipped into the tombstone.
How about
It
that?
took everything out of him, though.
Yeah. But yeah, anyways, that guy. So every time I'm doing a podcast, or a lot of times just when I'm talking, I always think about whenever I say like I always think
He
about that
got
guy.
you. Yeah.
Well, because that's
Sometimes
bad.
people
That's
just stick
bad
into you.
public
Yeah.
speaking. That's
It's
that's
funny.
that's bad
Well, it's
public speaking.
also it's also just like when someone points out something to you that can't be like unseen or
Yeah, of
unheard.
course. Yeah.
So now you're just acutely aware of it.
Yeah.
So,
But I mean, they teach you that in broadcasting school.
yeah, totally.
I'm sure they do, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean,
Here we go.
Dude, that noggin fall.
Because he
Disturbing.
just the whole body. It looks like he goes past the floor. Like he did, because the whole body just collapses
Right.
straight down.
Yeah. So is he really gonna tear into that guy at the end of this night? Like, is he gonna
Oh,
find that
the cameraman.
and be like, dude, what are you doing, man? Like, what are you doing out there?
Yes, yes, and the Undertaker especially, because he's like a real veteran and a guy that is seen like as kind of a guy that's in control of things.
Yeah,
So for someone to mess up that, and I mean, he could have died.
absolutely.
I mean, he landed straight on his head.
I mean,
To mess up, that's reckless, you know. To mess up
that's exactly what it is.
to mess up that badly with anybody is pretty unforgivable, but for it being the Undertaker is really bad.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's even if it's not the Undertaker, look at how crazy he looks there. With the hair, he's got the big widow's peak, but the hair is kind of fluffed out on the sides.
Yeah.
That's a heavy look.
It is. It really is.
Yeah, but anyways, the just even if it wasn't the Undertaker and it was another guy who's like 6'10",
Yeah.
doing that, I mean that's like really really bad. So yeah, I from what I remember, whoever that person was, I think really got a talking to.
I mean, I'd have to think so. That's insane.
Yeah, and I like I said, I want to say it was like a relative of somebody's.
like a favorite guy.
Yeah, totally. Like, hey, like
come on, man,
my kid, like my kid, he's a wrestler. Like, can he do this? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
I could be wrong about that, but I think that's the case. So we'll go ahead and stop this. Well, I mean, let's watch the Undertaker leave.
Dude, is that Holyfield?
Yeah.
Yes.
Look at him.
That's
There's a champ.
with his family, just like enjoying this.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I recognize that little guy. Is that Jerry? Is that Lawler?
Jerry the King Lawler.
Dude, is that really his name?
Yes.
How did I know that?
I don't know. How did you know that?
What the heck?
Yeah, how did you know that? I'm gonna go ahead and turn mine off. How do you know? Yeah, you can stop it. How do you know who Jerry the King Lawler is?
He wanted to beat someone up on TV.
Yes. I was just gonna say.
Andy Kaufman?
Yep, that's it. That's how you know
I just don't know how I know his name.
I mean, he's a memorable. Did you see, like, I mean, you're aware of Andy Kaufman. You probably saw that Jim Carrey movie, Man on the Moon.
I did.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
So you saw that. I mean, yeah.
I'm sure. I don't know. I'm a little impressed with myself and them.
I'm very impressed. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm really impressed. That's pretty incredible, actually. It has to be from that, right?
I guess, yeah. I saw it, seen it twice. I don't know. He's in the culture. He's in there somewhere. So.
Yeah, because Andy Kaufman and specifically him fighting with Jerry Lawler on the David Letterman show, that's like a pop culture moment that kind of everybody remembers, right?
Definitely.
At least people our age and older. I don't know about much younger, but I mean that's something that we just saw several times growing up.
Yeah, I would think so.
And like I'm sure your dad has talked about it, and they used to show all these like Andy Kaufman documentaries on Comedy Central and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it's in the air.
It's in the air. I'm pretty impressed though that you recognized him and were able to remember his name.
I'm just like surprised. I'm just
Yeah.
surprised.
Me too.
That's
Me too.
cool cultural recognition he's got there.
Good for him. He's a guy that some people think is the greatest wrestler of all time, Jerry Lawler.
Really?
Yeah.
And so is he still like in the universe there? Does he like announce and talk and do that or?
He does. I don't know how much announcing he does. He's still involved. I think he might do like these kind of like pre-game shows or post-game shows at this point.
Okay.
He announced, he was an announcer for a long time. I think they kind of forced him off the air to try to get like young blood in there.
Mm-hmm.
He had a heart attack on screen, like live
Yo.
during a show. It was really something. He was, I think, if I remember, I watched it. I think he had a match that night and then went back to announcing. And, he was just announcing and he had a heart attack. And his partner, who was announcing with him, just totally like hey Jerry, like, are you okay, what's going on? And then it kind of the sound cut. But the partner was a total wreck for the rest of the show. I mean, obviously, right? Like,
See, that's the dynamic aspect of this whole world that you
yeah,
just don't see elsewhere.
yes,
I mean, things happen to people and stuff, but I don't know. I can never remember. I can't think of a similar scenario in like baseball, for instance.
no,
Like, oh, this announcer,
there's
like he had a heart attack on the air, and like it's just there's something so like it's just on the edge about like everything about wrestling.
yeah, there's some kind of spiritual or cosmic phenomenon where, I mean, this man wasn't there's no reason why it should have happened on screen to him versus a baseball announcer having it happen to them
Yeah,
on air. There's
yeah,
no reason,
yeah,
but it does,
yeah. It just does, and that's part of the weird world that is fascinating about it.
Yeah, it's some kind of like inherent like cosmic charisma or something.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. Um, yeah, Jerry Lawler is like, he's an all-time great.
He's an all-timer.
He's like incredible. Yeah, he's really something. I love him. I don't know if I think he's the best in the world ever, but I mean he's really up there. He's truly like in the top tier of wrestlers. Um, and he's awesome. All right. So what do you think of that match?
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty entertained. Um, I think that it's kind of interesting. The tone seemed to change after the head drop.
Yes.
And it actually became more compelling to me.
Yes.
I mean, regardless of if I would have known the severity, you know what I mean? Like, did he actually like hit his head or whatever? But there was just something that shifted there, and the moves became a lot more dramatic.
Right. And
Uh,
that was. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I mean, I could tell that was part like, it makes sense like it seemed like part of the cadence of the match. Like, obviously the match has to go somewhere, so like they're gonna take it to that kind of level, but it just felt like the beginning felt like very ritualistic, like, okay, this is a WWF match, like it's these two wrestlers are wrestling. But like they kind of fell into this weird intense rhythm, it felt like after that. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think that was by design? Do you think they had called that on the kind of went and improvised on that, or what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like the one guy could read the Undertaker pretty well.
Hmm.
That's what it felt like. Like it felt like because we've talked about some of these matches where there's like no charisma and like no team play, for lack of a better word. Like
Yeah.
they're kind of just two guys doing their thing, and then it just happens to be a match or whatever. This felt like choreographed, like they were working in tandem, and so I could tell, like that there was a plan to it, and like they're going a certain way, but it did feel like, yeah, it was ratcheted up like a little notch.
Hmm. Yeah.
I don't know, at least to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. But where do you think you would put this on compared to some of the other matches that we've
Um,
watched?
Like I think that it's up there. Like I could see, you had said at the beginning, if you're telling me that someone thinks that it's like the best match, I mean, I couldn't
Yeah.
really argue that. Whereas like some of the other, I mean, I can't argue any of them. I don't know anything about wrestling, but like some of the other ones, it was maybe a little more head scratching for me, like to be like, oh, is
Yes.
that really people think that's like the best one? But what does that say about how like pedestrian it was? Because I mean, it's appealing to me, and I'm about as pedestrian as you're gonna get. Like,
Hmm.
so there is that aspect to it. I don't know like how high level it gets, but I could see why people would like be compelled by it and think it was like one of the greatest.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Like, what do
Uh,
you think
s-
about it?
so yeah. So this is a very interesting match because try to think about all Japan Pro Wrestling. That's
Yeah.
that Japanese promotion we've watched some. Could you see this? What would you think if that they did the same moves? They took all the moves from the match we just watched and put that into All Japan Pro Wrestling with two other guys doing them.
Hmm. That's interesting. That might be like too abstract for me to like be able to
Mm,
like think about. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like
Okay.
to come
Yeah.
up with like a conclusion on. That's really
Okay.
interesting to think about though. Like I just don't have like an organized thought, but like could you tell me? I don't know. That's
Uh, yeah. So this is my opinion on it. Is that if you were to take the structure of that match and the moves that happened in that match, and you were to put it in a different environment with two different wrestlers, I don't think that match is very good.
okay.
The reason it's and so I think that match is awesome. Like I love that match.
Yeah.
I think it only works as a WWF match.
Mm-hmm.
WWE, it's WWE at the time. Whatever.
Sorry. I'm never gonna
I
learn
mean,
that.
no, I'm saying WWF too, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But it only works because it's WWE. The production value is so high. It's in front of 75,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
It's these two larger than life characters who are performing this huge spectacle of a match with these big over exaggerated movements, like the punching exchange at the end
Mm-hmm.
was if you take that out of that context and you put it somewhere else, it's almost comical.
Uh-huh.
It almost looks like a Three Stooges routine or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I
But
mean it's kind of interesting because it's like it reaches that level for me. Like that's kind of where I'm coming from with it.
right, yeah, yeah,
So it's like interesting to try to think of like you have a much more like trained and refined eye for the context.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. Yeah,
So that's interesting. I never would have thought about like if you transpose the moves themselves into a different like atmosphere with a different style, with a different audience,
Hmm. And
becomes something interesting. I don't know.
and like Shawn Michaels, he was begging the referee to stop the match, and he
Right.
was on his knees praying that the Undertaker
Right.
wouldn't get up.
Right.
Like
Right.
that's so
Over the
stupid.
top. Yeah.
It's
So over the
yeah,
top.
and it's this huge. It becomes this melodramatic play that they're doing in front of these people,
Right.
rather than okay, this is a simulated fight between two athletes, right?
Yeah, and that's why it's appealing. It's because it's it's theater at that point.
Yes,
I mean,
and and
that's
that
it's yeah, it's like it's it's a college education removed from like watching an opera,
yes, yeah,
you know.
and that only can happen, and that can only be good with WWE's production and their camera crew and the colors and the costumes and the crowd and
Right.
the stadium filled with people.
Yeah.
So that, like, if you look at it as a wrestling match, I don't think it's necessarily as like a technical. We're gonna pretend that we're really fighting each other or having this sporting contest. It doesn't really work that way.
Hmm.
But as like I think this is the ultimate WWE match
Hmm.
because I think
It embodies like all those
it
good qualities.
yeah, I think it's like this and like Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant
Right.
as like the two ultimate examples of what WWE is. Um,
Got it. Yeah.
the Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin match.
Hmm.
I don't know how much you remember about that one. That is the match, and I think that's one of just a couple WWE matches ever to be like absolutely transcendent in the sense that match is so great as a WWE match, but it's also so great as any wrestling match. Like you
Hmm.
could take that match and put it in All Japan, or you could put it in uh, Arena Mexico or in the AWA or something, and it's just as great.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
It's only it's the same match. It's maybe only slightly enhanced by high level production, but maybe
Right.
it could be enhanced by a grittier production too,
Sure.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
Whereas
That's the part
this,
that's hard for me to catch onto at this stage.
sure, yeah,
I
yeah,
think it's really interesting though.
yeah. Whereas is this match, like imagine if there were, I think that AWA match, the Hennig versus Bockwinkel, that
Yes.
was in a smaller venue.
Yes.
So imagine if that had taken place in front of a couple thousand people, and you have Shawn Michaels, you have the Undertaker diving and falling on his head, and then you have Shawn Michaels pleading, making these big gestures and pleading with the referee, and he's making these wild hand motions when
And
he's
he's
punching and
praying.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that can't work as well. And
Yeah.
imagine the entrances, them trying to scale down an entrance like that
Yeah. I
into
mean, definitely.
some casino in Vegas. You know what I mean? It's so you have to take this broad package of the entrances and the crowd and the lighting and the announcing and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. Hmm.
And that's why I think WWE is cool. But it's also it pigeonholes itself.
Yeah. I was gonna say it kind of handicaps him, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, that's
severely.
a tempting. It's like a tempting path to go down, but it really kind of gets you in that one zone.
Yeah, and that's why it's so strange that WWE is what is synonymous with professional wrestling, and it's been like that again for 35 years, because professional wrestling is so different than WWE, and is much more, every other promotion, WCW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, All Japan Pro Wrestling, the AWA, Mid South, Memphis, all these other promotions that have existed in the past,
Hmm.
those are so much more interchangeable, and they're so much more representative of what pro wrestling actually is. The outlier and the weird one is WWE, but
Yeah.
that is what is the most popular and is,
Yeah, yet
makes the most money.
right, they play on aspects of humanity and pop culture that propel them.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm always fascinated by how that happened.
Yeah, definitely. It's a real like well, it's just savvy. The guy's just really savvy,
He's savvy.
but he's
I
so like sideways in a weird way. I don't know. It's bizarre.
I mean, it's deeply, like, the psychology there is like so messed up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the thing is he like truly hates himself and truly hates professional wrestling. I mean,
Right.
you know that he tried to get into bodybuilding. He tried to get into movie making. He tried to get the XFL. He
The
tried to get into
XFL,
football
yeah, exactly.
2 times. But he's always had such this complicated, like, self-loathing relationship with his own wealth and success,
Right.
that it's, I mean, he doesn't call it, it's not called professional wrestling. They won't say wrestling anywhere. You know about that, right?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh man.
What is it? What?
So they're not allowed to say wrestling.
Are you serious?
Yeah, you didn't know
What
about this.
the heck? I did not know about this.
Oh, good. Okay. So yeah, so they won't. It's called WWE. Uh, so okay, sorry. Real quick history. It was called WWF, the World Wrestling Federation.
Yes.
They
I knew
they
about
were
something about the panda, right?
yeah
The
the World Wildlife Foundation.
yes.
They yeah got sued or something, so they had to change it to WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment.
Okay.
Eventually, they just dropped that and just called it WWE, which didn't stand for anything.
What
It's
the
just
heck?
WWE. And they don't say wrestling. They say sports entertainment. They
And why?
they don't call, well, I'll tell you that they don't say wrestler. They say in-ring performer or performer.
Are you serious? Like in the
Yes.
announcing and all that stuff?
Yes. There's this huge, like, list of things that you're not allowed to say.
This is boggling my mind a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. So they can't say it's sports entertainment. They don't say fans or crowd. It's WWE Universe or members of the WWE Universe.
This is strange. This is cult like. I don't know. This is weird.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying about the aesthetic.
Yeah.
It's and look, it goes so much deeper than that. I can't think off the top of my head right now a lot of the other stuff,
It's pretty
it's
unreal.
because but it's because his thing is pro wrestling is what my dad did,
Hmm.
because he inherited it from his father. Pro
Right.
wrestling is what my dad did. We tell stories here. This is sports entertainment. We have on our shows, we have musical performances, and we have these larger than life characters, and we have these dramatic stories that we tell, and that kind of thing. They
That's
don't
really
have
interesting.
wrestling matches. It's like let's see, they don't say title match. They say championship opportunity.
Are you being serious right
Yeah.
now?
Yeah, dead serious. They don't
So do
say
they
I don't
call it WrestleMania? Do they have a WrestleMania? Does WrestleMania still
yeah,
exist?
yes, WrestleMania is the one time that they will use because that brand was already so strong.
Yeah,
They couldn't change that. They had to keep WrestleMania.
it's unstoppable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
But like they don't, the belt, the title belt,
yeah,
the belt that you wear if you're a champion. They don't
right.
say you can't say title or title belt. It's championship.
This is pretty crazy. I don't know. This adds like a really weird layer to this whole thing.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in the middle of some documentary and there's this major twist because I feel like I will. I don't know. It's really effed up as it were.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm what now. I'm gonna have to really think on that. That's as an outsider. That's very. That just adds a dimension. I can't explain it right now. I'll have to maybe next time unpack it or something. But that's really bizarre. I did not know any of that.
Yeah. So okay, so what you have to do is you have to meditate on this, and then when we record our next episode, I'm going to ask you about it and just see if you've come to any kind of conclusions on it.
Yeah, I will. I definitely will. I find that very intriguing.
Yeah, because it creates the whole thing is it creates its own world. It's its own universe
Yeah, yeah, totally.
with its own social norms and mores and customs.
Yeah, absolutely. That just really does something. I don't know. Yeah, let me think on that.
And you know what's I mean the interesting part, he's been so big on sports entertainment. Sports entertainment, sports entertainment, sports entertainment. That's all that he just pushes that so hard and has again for 35 years. And
Right.
that now a lot of the more extreme stuff has only been within the past 20 years where like no you don't say wrestling, you
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
say belt. But
Since like the turn of the century.
yeah, but the sports entertainment thing he's pushed for a long time. They're not wrestlers. They're in-ring performers or preferably superstars. They're WWE superstars.
Hmm.
Everyone's a superstar.
Wow. That's
And
that's something.
yeah,
I don't
now
know
now
what something.
you got to think on it, and I want to hear your thoughts next time. But the real interesting part is he has pushed for this stuff so hard. How many people do you know that call it sports entertainment?
Absolutely zero.
Yeah, how many times have you ever heard the phrase sports entertainment?
I've never heard that before. I
Yeah.
have never heard that before.
Yeah.
And I would be very hard pressed to find anyone that I know that's ever heard that isn't like privy to the world like you are.
Like your parents would not know
They
the
would
term sports
definitely
entertainment.
not. They'd see Hogan and they'd say there's a wrestler.
Yes. So
That's
what you have you have this because they know the WWF. If you said WWF, what is that? They would say it's wrestling, right?
oh, you better believe it. Yeah, anyone I know would.
Then yes, and so you have this completely dominating, overwhelming brand recognition of it, and they probably even know the logo,
Yeah, yeah, I would think so.
but it's not called what the guy wants it to be called. He's been able to control every single aspect of his own company,
Yeah.
and push this narrative so far, but at the end of the day, nobody calls it sports entertainment.
And everybody calls it wrestling.
And everybody calls it wrestling. And you'll even have like fans who will say in-ring performer or superstar or championship opportunity. He's been able to get these other phrases incorporated into people's lexicons and push that as what you're supposed to say,
Yeah.
but not sports entertainment.
Yeah, you can't change what something when it already has such a hard semiotic hold on the culture. You cannot. That's beyond you. You can spend as much
Yeah,
money as you want. Like you know, it's
yeah,
just like a cult. It's just like a cult. Like the cult can call itself whatever it wants over and over again, and its people will call it that too.
yeah.
But it's recognized by the world at large as a cult. You know.
As a cult. Yeah,
So it's you can't escape that when you have all these signifiers, the four posts of the ring and the guys wearing the kind of superhero like underwear, and you've
yeah,
got these things, and it's just like there's too many signifiers.
yeah. The only way would be if you didn't have the ring,
Yeah,
right?
you'd
You'd have
have
to
to
get rid of.
knock down the signifiers.
Yeah,
They'd
and
have
that.
to look different, and they'd have to do something different in a different like setting, and therefore it really wouldn't be what he wants it to be.
Right, but well, I think I would argue that because he has gone on record before, and there's documents of him lamenting that he has to have wrestling matches
Hmm.
because there's so much else going on. You look at WrestleMania, there's so much else that they'll always have a band play a song, they'll have these celebrities make these appearances, they have these entrances, they
Yeah.
tell these stories. And he said like, well, that he would like to be able to remove the wrestling matches from the shows,
Right.
which is, I mean, that's truly like, that's the end result, I mean, right? Like that's the end game for all this anyways.
Yeah.
uh and a very interesting thing is that with something that's kind of become popular in WWE just in 2020 with the COVID thing is what they're calling cinematic matches,
Hmm.
where they're essentially like the Undertaker was in one this past year, where it's supposed to be his last match or something, I don't know, but it took place in a graveyard,
Hmm.
and it was shot like a movie, and it had the film, like the quality of the film was like an HD movie,
Hmm.
and there was these special effects and all these kind of fantastical elements to it.
So he's already doing what I'm speculating on.
Yeah, and
He's
so
removing the scene and the signs.
yeah, and so that's the end game for WWE. Like
Hmm.
that's what he has always wanted it to be.
Yeah, it's like a one-hit wonder that doesn't want to play that song,
Yeah,
but it's the song everyone is just gonna die for, and the reason that they're like tuning in and wanting to see you.
yeah, and the reason they make money.
Yeah, and the reason they make money.
Yeah,
Huh.
fascinating.
Yeah, that's interesting indeed.
Yeah. So so I think on this. Um, the next time we record, I mean, realistically, I'm gonna completely forget about it. But
Yeah, I'll probably bring it up to you.
yeah, okay, yeah, please do, because I'm sure I'll forget. Yeah, we'll talk about it next time. But let's get out of here. Jordan, do you have any plugs?
Nope, just the ones in my hair. Where's your rim shot? Don't you
Come
have
on.
a drum kit somewhere? What kind of production is this?
Yeah, well, it's amateur at best. How much do you weigh right now?
I don't I don't want to talk about that. I don't even know. I don't know, and I don't want to know, and I don't want to tell our audience of millions.
Huh. Okay. Hey, real quick, speaking of hair plugs, I'm really into celebrities, like looking at their hairlines.
You're fascinated by hairlines. You
I'm
bring it
really
up.
into it right
You
now.
bring it up often.
I saw a picture. It was like it was a bunch of different pictures. It was all guys like in their celebrities, like their late 50s. And it was like everybody: George Clooney, Brad Pitt, Robert Downey Jr., Jim Carrey, everybody, Tom Cruise, and they all have these super full, just luscious heads of hair.
Yeah, that's their livelihood. They gotta maintain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to get. Yeah, so
Yeah,
awesome.
you're
I
gonna
mean,
get
I,
you're
I
gonna get some kind of weird half baked hair plug at one point, I'll bet.
well, no, that's the thing with me is I'm the only person in the world that wants to go bald.
Yeah, that's true.
Jamie Foxx is another one. His is his is really good because it's really low on his head and straight across.
Yeah, I bet it is.
Maybe that's what I want. Maybe I just want the hairline like to be really low on my forehead, but then still not have hair.
Yeah, yeah, you'll come up with something, I'm sure.
Like I want to continue to go bald, but just move the hairline.
You are so ridiculous. These thoughts that go through your head are just so absurd. Oh my gosh.
Have I
Yeah,
told you my bodybuilding plan?
no, but I'm sure you've got a detailed one.
So this is what I want. I want. Are we still recording?
We
Oh,
are.
we are. We haven't ended the show yet. That's all right. I'll tell the world. Everyone can be on the lookout for me. 2021. This is what's coming. I want my thighs to get jacked. Really.
Dude, I don't
But
I
just
doubt you're joking.
no, no, I'm not. Because the thing is I've got muscular thighs. That's the only.
Yeah,
That's like the best. I mean, you've seen me in my shorts I bought in Vegas, right? I mean,
absolutely.
that was a good day for me.
Yeah, you won
Um,
some money and you plopped them down on some Thai boxing shorts or whatever that is, whatever they are.
Yep, Muay Thai shorts. But anyways, I want to get really, really like defined, jacked, huge thighs, and then not work out any other part of my body. So my thigh, like my calves, I want really skinny calves, no muscles in my arms, and then I want to put on weight, like my spare tire, get a real pot belly going.
Dude, but just have these like comic book thighs, like these like
Yeah,
really chiseled
chiseled
Superman
thunder
thighs.
thighs. Yeah. And
Yeah,
then with my Jamie Foxx hairline.
I think you're joking, but I also think there's probably a little nugget of truth in there and some earnest desire.
Yeah,
This is
it's
this
all
is
earnest desire. This is who I am.
this is who you are. Take you or leave you.
Yeah, this is me. All right. Anyways, as far as plugs go, uh, please follow me on Twitter _ at _burning spirits. I've really launched a campaign, a social justice campaign against Burger King. They're gonna pay for
what?
they're gonna pay for what they've done. They're gonna
What
pay for what
the
they've done.
heck? I didn't hear about that. You're gonna have to tease us on that one. I'm gonna want to hear about that.
Yeah, let me just say they'll pay for what they've done. And
Wow.
if you care about, I mean, humanity, the earth, anything,
Pick a thing.
pick a thing. If you care about a thing at all, any kind of thing, you will not support Burger King.
Wow, that's heavy to me.
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah. Please follow along. Please subscribe to all the different feeds related to Place to Be Nation. You got the Place to Be Nation wrestling feed, Place to Be Nation pop feed, the North-South Connection feed, the Jenny Position feed. Please go over to the Facebook Greatest WCW Match of All Time Facebook group. Time is running out for you to make your top 100 list. As far as plugs, I do believe there will be a new episode of Jenny and the Gems coming out shortly, where we are talking about 1992 ECW. Horrendous stuff. Thank you for listening, everybody. Again, do not support Burger King. Twitter account at _burning spirits for more information. Thank you for listening. Take care, everybody. Goodbye.